The U.S. Supreme Court just sent a clear message. Parental rights and religious liberty are not negotiable in America's classrooms. In a 6-3 decision, the court ruled in Mahmoud versus Taylor that Maryland's Montgomery County Public Schools violated the First Amendment when it forced students, some as young as 5, to sit through lessons promoting LGBTQ storybooks, even when their families held sincere religious objections. The NCIC applauds this historic ruling, which affirms what we've long believed, that parents, not government bureaucrats, have the final say in what their children are taught on deeply personal and moral issues. A line drawn in defense of families. This case wasn't about banning books. It wasn't about hate or intolerance. It was about choice. Muslim, Christian, and Orthodox Jewish families asked for the right to opt their kids out of story times that contradicted their faith. Not to remove the books, but to preserve their right to raise their children with moral clarity and spiritual consistency. That's not extremism, it's common sense. As Justice Alito wrote in the majority opinion, a government burdens the religious exercise of parents when it requires them to submit their children to instruction that poses a very real threat of undermining their beliefs. This ruling is a long overdue reminder that government schools are not the moral parents of our children. The Asian American perspective, we value family and freedom. In many Asian cultures, parents are seen as the primary guides of their children's moral and educational development. Whether rooted in Confucianism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, or Buddhism, our communities understand the sacred role of the family in shaping a child's values. This ruling will especially resonate with Asian American families in North Carolina and across the country who have grown frustrated watching public schools substitute ideology for education. Our families come from traditions that value modesty, respect for elders, and personal discipline. We don't send our children to school to be lectured on topics that violate our conscience. We send them to learn math, reading, science, and history. The left's reaction, outrage over common sense. Predictably, far-left activists and education unions are in an uproar. Justice Sotomayor, in her dissent, claimed this ruling would lead to chaos. But let's be honest, what we're seeing today isn't chaos caused by parental rights. It's the chaos caused by radical agendas trying to take over childhood education. They're not mad that parents asked to opt out. They're mad they weren't able to control what every child hears, sees, and thinks. That's not education. That's indoctrination. A warning to schools nationwide. To public school districts across America, the days of ignoring parents are over. This ruling should serve as a wake-up call. If you want to keep families in your school, stop pushing controversial content and start partnering with parents again. Respecting parents' values isn't censorship, it's constitutional. And it's also good policy if you want to rebuild trust with increasingly diverse families. Conclusion, a win for everyone. This is a win for religious liberty, a win for parents, a win for diverse communities like ours who came to America because we believed in the promise of freedom, including the freedom to raise our children according to our values. Let's hope this ruling leads to more respect, more dialogue, and fewer attempts to shut down families who simply want a voice in their children's education. We stand with the parents, we stand with the Constitution, and we stand with the Supreme Court. North Carolina Asian American Coalition.